Jasmine.
Hi, Mr. Gilmore.
Well,
Nurse
this
Akia.
accident is all your fault. Your father started drinking because of you.
Is everything okay
He's
here?
dead now because of you, and I have this broken leg because of you. This is all your fault.
Ma'am,
Excuse me, we're having a conversation. You're being very rude. You're interrupting.
is there a problem going on here?
Excuse me, do you not see that we're talking?
I can
You
see
just
that.
interrupted our conversation.
You're yelling at my patient. I just want to know what's
I'm
going
not
on.
yelling. And yeah, I mean, you know, he's just, we would be better off without him in the family.
What do you
Because he
mean without
caused-
him?
He caused my husband to start drinking because he's just worthless son, and he caused the accident because he was drinking, and now I have this broken leg, and now my husband is gone.
What do you feel about all this? I can tell your mother to step out. I think it's time you go for a look show, and I'll go with you. We can discuss further as to why you're feeling like this.
It's not like I can. I mean,
Are you okay? I saw that you and your mom were having a little argument over there. Is everything okay?
She's just, I don't know.
She just does this all the time. She blames him for her father's accident,
Oh, okay.
and it's just not right. She just,
Yeah.
makes him more upset.
How did all this start? What?
She started this nasty heroin addiction, and it's just tore this family apart, really. That's why our dad started drinking.
Oh, really? Okay. So how have you been feeling? Emotionally, how has everything been going?
He hasn't been doing too well since the accident. He's been really depressed, more so here in the hospital. I don't know, and I just don't feel like it makes it any better that my mom keeps blaming him.
So here's what I'm gonna do for you, Mr. Gilmore. I'm gonna have the psychiatrist come in and take a look at you. I can tell that your family's really concerned, and I wanna do what's best for you, the patient. So I'm gonna have the psychiatrist come in, evaluate you, and then we're gonna make a game plan from there.
Can you tell me a little bit more of how you're feeling?
I just feel kind of hopeless right now.
How long has that been going on?
About 6 to 8 months now.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to have this family conference because I had our psychiatrist go in and look at him, and so she's gonna explain to y'all her findings.
When I went in there, he was very distressed, and the hospital stay has really gotten to him, and the family issues have really gotten to him, the root of the problem. So I think we need to work it out and see how we can all come into a consensus to further assist mom as well as, Mr. Gilmore.
So I think on top of the medication, I really need y'all to step up y'all's roles in the home. So I think what we all need to do is come together collectively and work with him. So on our end, we're gonna talk with his healthcare provider to prescribe him the medication. And then on y'all's end, I just think that y'all should all come together and really help him to feel better at home. Try to make him feel like himself, engage with him more, try to do more things with him.
Okay, well, I just didn't realize he was this emotionally depressed, and I feel bad for treating him the way I did this
Yeah.
morning.
And I understand, I think I can get you in touch with some social services that can help you and your son, and it can help y'all form a much stronger. And your family also agrees that they're going to do their best to be there for you and engage with you and just try to help you to get better.
I'm sorry, son. I'm so sorry that I put the anger on you.
It's okay, Mom.
It's not your fault.
Thank you.
We'll get through this.
We can all be a family together again.
So, in this video, we witnessed a nurse who was interacting with a patient who had depression. And it's important to know how to communicate with people with depression because they could be in a really vulnerable state. So, one of the things that the nurse did was she used active listening. So she asked the patient what was wrong and then asked open-ended questions like to just get more insight about what was really going on with the patient and not necessarily the external situations with his family. The nurse validated the patient's feelings, so when he explained that he was feeling a certain way, she was like, okay, so you're feeling this way and that's okay, basically. And then she clarified the patient's feelings, so basically just asking the patient to explain in detail so she could fully understand what was going on. And then she also clarified with the family as well. So the next kind of skills that the nurse used was she really implemented client-centered care. So when the mom was really upsetting the patient, she made sure that the mom was separated so she could actually have a productive conversation with the patient. And then she called for a family conference, which is really important if a patient is experiencing depression, because when you notice situational issues, a lot of the times if those are resolved, it's usually the root of the problem. So it's important to confront those with your patient to make sure that they have the best care possible. And then she used therapeutic touch. So when the patient was expressing distress, she lightly touched the patient to basically just comfort them and make them feel okay because they're being vulnerable at the time. So the nurse also implemented collaboration and user resources. So she let the psychiatrist know what was going on with the patient in order for them to collaborate and for the psychiatrist to also help with her end of the care too. And then the third set of skills that the nurse used was appropriate verbal responses. So the nurse calmly de-escalated the situation, which is really important because if it's a hostile situation like this one, there could be a really bad escalation if you don't approach the situation calmly. And then she adjusted the tone when speaking to different people. So she used a more calming tone when speaking with the patient, but when speaking with the mother, she was a lot more firm. So the last skill that the nurse used was she summarized the family team meeting and explained that to the patient and how it went, and then how the plan of care would continue with the family issues resolved. So basically, she had a team meeting with the family. So when family issues occur, it's really important to have a conference with the family because if external issues aren't resolved, a lot of the time, the patient will be extremely affected by it, like this one who experienced depression. So